is Plexi, and I'm going to take you through the history of gaming and the contributions that technology brings outside the gaming community. Video games have changed drastically throughout the years, from the first games such as Space War and Pong, to the amazing creations today, including virtual reality and titles like Fallout 4 and Red Dead Redemption 2. We began in 1962 with a game called Space War, a space combat game, which was very influential for its time. As the first game to be played on multiple computers, this game paved the way for later games such as Asteroids and the first arcade games, Computer Space and Galaxy Game. The first system created, the Odyssey, showed up around 1967, developed by Sanders Associates Incorporated, led by a man named Ralph Baer. This system ultimately failed, but the games made for the system were an inspiration for later games such as Pong, which Atari released a few years later. The 1970s and 80s introduced a wave of new notable games, including the Space Invaders arcade game in 1978, Pac-Man, and Donkey Kong, which introduced Mario. 1983 marked the year of what is known as the video game crash. This was a flood of terrible games such as E.T. from Atari into the market. The crash ended in 1985 with the release of the NES from Nintendo, which offered better graphics and sound and all-around better games. This console introduced many great well-known series such as Legend of Zelda, Metroid, Mega Man, and Super Mario Bros. 3D game graphics also found their start in the mid-90s with games such as Super Mario 64 on the cartridge-based Nintendo 64 and Virtua Fighter on the CD-based Sega Saturn. Sony came into play as well with the PlayStation, and in 2000 the PlayStation 2. The console wars came to a head in the early 2000s with the release of Nintendo GameCube and Microsoft's Xbox in 2001 in addition to the PlayStation 2, which is known as the best-selling game console of all time. This effectively sent Sega, who released the Dreamcast, to pull out of making consoles in 2001. The next decade was a race to the top between the three main companies of the console wars, Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, to better their processing power, graphics, and gameplay. Gaming is present in almost every household within the United States at a solid 63% of families with at least one gamer or game system present in the home. Game systems have a wide range of uses as well, such as playing DVDs and Blu-ray, or the ability to stream Netflix and Hulu, which greatly widens the audience to more than just gamers. Fields such as medicine or mental health have seen contributions as well in the form of virtual reality. Virtual environments have been present since 1959. However, the Virtual Reality Modeling Language, or VRML, introduced in 1994, helped jumpstart web-based 3D graphics. In the early 2000s, showed a new use for VR within medicine and robotics. There are studies that show links between games such as Tetris or Candy Crush, when played immediately after a tragic event, and the prevention of symptoms of PTSD or similar disorders, including nightmares and flashbacks, by basically distracting your brain and preventing it from putting the tragic event into long-term memory. There have also been studies of how certain games are able to train the body and brain to help people with diseases or disorders like autism, Alzheimer's, and even people needing physical therapy or those in major pain. According to an article in The Conversation, patients with brain injury from trauma or illness, such as stroke, often struggle with everyday tasks that we take for granted, such as shopping or making plans for the weekend. Recreating these tasks within virtual environments and allowing patients to practice them at increasing levels of complexity can speed up recovery and help patients regain a higher level of cognitive function. Virtual reality can be used to train for dangerous or life-threatening situations in a safe area where mistakes aren't deadly. Some occupations, such as pilots, military, doctors, etc., use simulators to learn and practice how to use machinery or do procedures. This can also be used to help heal and strengthen by distracting the mind or helping motivate and healing those needing physical therapy. It also can help with pain, overcoming phobias, and cognitive rehabilitation. Gaming technology branching out to more than just the gaming community is a new phenomenon and has only gained the spotlight recently as the technology expands its usage. The future looks bright, so let's all play video games and keep the mind sharp. Thanks for listening. Plexi out.